Hey y'all! Today we are going to be using Adobe Premiere Pro 2022 to put together our final project animation demo reel. If you've never used Premiere Pro before, this tutorial will give you a brief overview of some very basic editing skills. So we're going to start off here with our New Project button. And if you've used Premiere prior to 2022, this will seem very different to you. Rather than popping up a single window for putting in new project information, it opens the Import tab here at the top. But pretty much everything else is going to act about the same. So the first thing you'll notice here is we have project name. We're going to change that from untitled to animation demo reel, or you can just do demo reel. Keep it nice and simple. And we're going to make sure that it saves into our Unit 6 Final Project Animation Reel Project Files folder. Adobe Premiere will also make some other folders inside of this folder for you. Autosaves and different things. You don't want to mess with those. They'll just sit in there. And at this point we could go ahead and import things in, but we're just going to leave it as is. We're going to leave the name of our sequence to sequence 1 because we don't really need to do that, and we want to make sure that we have create new sequence turned on. Then we're going to hit create. Et voila, here is our workspace. So we want to make sure first of all that we are in editing. It's right here, edit workspace. And you will see that we have technically 6 panels. We have the source panel, the program panel, the project panel, your toolbar, the timeline, and an audio panel. We're going to start here in the project panel. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger so we can see. There are other things in this panel, media browser, libraries, info, all sorts of stuff, but we're just going to use this project panel. So this is where we're going to import our files to. So we'll go to File, Import, and we are going to find our Reel Videos folder. And we have 2 options. We can open it and import individual pieces, or we can import the entire folder. And that will make a bin for us, which is what Premiere calls folders, that has everything that is inside of that folder. So that's the quick way to do it. But let's say that there's a few things in that folder that you don't want. You can go to Reel Videos, and you can just go through and select the ones that you want. So I'm just going to select the ones that are .movs or .mp4 files. I don't want any GIF files, and I don't want any duplicate files, so I'm just going to open these. So here they are. If you go here to the tiny options hamburger menu here, next to demo reel, you'll see there's a bunch of panel options. To get this neat little preview, you're just going to turn on preview area. This will let you either scrub through or play to preview the clip before even inserting it into your sequence. Alright, so in our project panel, you will see that we have all of the different things that we have imported. The blue ones, or kind of a light lavenderish color, are going to be MP4 files, and the purplish ones are going to be the MOV files. If it has a waveform, a green waveform, that means that it has an audio track, even if the audio track is empty. You'll notice that all of my logo test, my logo, and my label example all have audio tracks. You'll also see here beside the name, you can see what frames per second they were at. Most of these are 30, but I have a couple that are 24. And you can stretch this way out and see a whole bunch of other information, but we're mostly just concerned with the name and the frame rate. Let's make our toolbar small again. Alright, so I don't have a sequence here, and we could create a sequence just by dropping one of these in, but we're going to create a fresh new sequence. So we're going to go down here, right click, new item, sequence, and we're going to choose 1080p under AVCHD, 1080p, 1080p 30. It's a little cutoff on mine, but you can see that one's 25 and that one's 50, so this one must be 30. So now I have a new sequence. It's called sequence 1. Now that I have sequence 1, you can see it over here in our project panel, which is organized by alphabet. It's in alphabetical order. You can organize it by type by clicking here. So sequence 1, it is a sequence, so it has a sequence symbol, and it is green to show that it's a sequence. It's open right here, and you can see that we now have a timeline to work with. So let's go ahead and start assembling our rough cut. I'm going to grab my animated logo first because I know that's going to go at the beginning. Click, drag, and I want it to be on this V1. The clip doesn't match the sequence's settings. Change the sequence to match the clip settings? No, we want to change the clip to match the sequence's settings. So we're going to keep existing settings. Why did it say that? Because my clip is at a different frames per second than the sequence. Alright, so let's talk about using the timeline. As you can see, I just dropped in a clip that's 4 seconds long, and you can see this teeny tiny little section here. We can zoom in on that by going here and dragging this to the side. So you zoom by dragging in and out, and you scroll by dragging left and right in the middle. This might take some getting used to. I think this is the only Adobe program that does this. You can do the same thing here. If you zoom in enough, you will be able to see a preview of what is in your clip. Because I know I'm not going to have any audio, I'm going to just shrink this down and make this bigger so that I can see my video 1, video 2, and video 3. So I just dropped 4 seconds of animation in video 1. If I want to preview that animation, I can just hit that play button. And there we go. In the next part, we're going to keep assembling our clips into a rough cut, go over different ways to edit different clips, scaling, trimming, ripple deleting, and all sorts of other fun stuff. See you then.